welcome to HearthCoach, the podcast that can help you be legendary. Yes, you there out in Twitchland watching this tonight. That's right, that helped you. I am your host, Dan, and this is my co-host, Fred.
Hello, everybody.
He is a player of Legend Rank, and I have convinced him to coach me and record it in podcast form and put it out there so as to hopefully help some more of you make it to Legend also. Okay.
Yep,
Here we are. How are we doing tonight, Fred?
I'm doing really good. I'm pretty excited about the episode, that's for sure.
I am too. This is another excellent guest coaching for this evening, but we will get to that in just a moment. So here we are with another video episode live on Twitch. So thank you for everybody showing up that's here live and watching us with the stream this evening. We got off just a little bit late, but we're up and rolling, and we should be looking good.
Hey, Dan. Hold on a second. Looks like the audio on the stream is a little low. Let me see what's going on. We may have to restart it. Hold on.
Okay.
Let's try this. Nope. About this. Try now.
You want me to start one more time? Shall I take it from the top?
Yes, I think I got it now. How's that, chat, NorCal kid? Does it sound good now?
Are we live? I guess we're live. If he's asking the chat.
Yep, we are live. So, but we can redo and cut it.
All right.
Sorry about that. I noticed
no worries.
that your audio wasn't coming in.
I will edit this in post.
Yeah, we'll kill it in post. So.
Here we go. One more time. Hail and well met, my fellow Hearthstone players, and welcome to HearthCoach, the podcast that can help you be legendary. I'm your host, Dan, and this is my co-host, Fred.
Hello, everybody.
He is a player of Legend Rank, and I have convinced him to coach me and record it in podcast form so as to hopefully help some more of you make it to Legend also. All right, we'll just bust that out real quick.
Yes.
No sense in playing around.
Yep.
All right, well, how are we doing tonight, friend?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. These hot days of summer, though, are getting a little annoying sometimes.
Wait, you ain't, yeah, well, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
And, a rough summer? Yeah, I'm going to be sounding like a bit of a broken record this week, unfortunately. Again, with more internet troubles, which I hadn't mentioned to you yet when we were talking earlier. We had to have somebody actually come out to the apartment Monday and fix things and get a new modem and all kinds of stuff. So that's kind of hampered the amount of games I could get into, because I couldn't. It's awfully frustrating when you try and play and you keep getting disconnected all the time, and it messes up games you might could have won. So
yep, it's just part of it.
Yep. So I definitely interfered with the amount of games I could get in. I played a bit of WoW over the weekend, but we seem to be working good now ever since we got the new modem. Ever since then, so. But I've been trying to crank out some games. I'm still wallowing at 17. It's
oh no.
It's embarrassing to actually admit again.
Oh man.
So I don't know. It's usually not this rough for me. I'm just going to keep plugging away. Hopefully, I'll gain some more wisdom this evening, and yeah.
I think you will for sure.
Oh, I'm pretty confident in that. So
have you been playing what we played last week, the Cthulhu Druid, or something else?
I've been going between the Cthulhu Druid and the mid-range hunter.
Yep.
And yeah, it's been so hard to come by wins. I played a Miracle Rogue, and they played Reno 3 times on me. I still won.
Oh my God.
Still managed to win, but I had to beat somebody that played Reno 3 times. Okay, that's just kind of exemplary of what
Yes.
the week's been like. So it's been three Reno week.
Yeah.
Ooh, say that fast.
All right. Well, let's see. I can talk about my week, so we can kind of roll through this and get to our guest
Yes.
who's patiently waiting. I'm excited to talk to him. Um, so I earlier in the week I got to rank 6. I was rolling along just fine using that same trio of the Tempo Yogg Mage, Mid-Range Hunter, and the Dragon Warrior. And then talk about disconnects. I had one of those games against a rogue that I disconnected and couldn't recover it. And it's one of those that starts a downward spiral of death. So I was kind of playing in the morning. I had my family actually that was going to be here last 2 weekends ago actually came this weekend. So they were here. So I didn't play that much, but I lost like 7 in a row or something. Went
Ooh.
back down to 8. It was awful. And yeah. This morning before maintenance, I was logging in. I'm like, I'm gonna get some games in before maintenance hits. And I faced 4 druids in a row, all with an innervate and wild growth. I was like, okay, all right. I was 7. I'm back to 8. So anyway, not the best of weeks, but it's okay. We'll see if I pick up also some nuggets of wisdom to keep the streak
Oh yeah.
going.
It's early. It's early yet.
Yeah. So anyway, that's out of the way, but now we want to introduce, finally, since he's been waiting so patiently, as we stumble through the first opening, that our
Yes,
audio listeners won't hear.
that's right.
We
And
have a very special guest, and he is the this season spring championship for the Americas, and it is Cydonia. Welcome, man.
Hello, thanks for inviting me.
Oh man,
thanks for coming. We
you're most
appreciate it.
welcome. Right?
Cool.
I know
So
our listeners are going to appreciate it. That's for sure.
yes, definitely. So we like to sort of ask a few questions introductory so that our listeners can get to know who you are if they haven't been watching much of competitive Hearthstone, because if you have been, you would know who he is because he just won that big tournament. But perhaps give us a little bit of background of basics like where you're from, and then get into how did you start getting into Hearthstone?
Yeah, so I'm from Montreal, Canada. That's where my accent is from. And I got into Hearthstone just by chance because I had some friends who were playing it and who kept bugging me to try it. And at first I didn't want to play one more game, but I decided to give it a try and I thought it was really fun. And with like the daily quests, it makes you log in every day. And after a while, you notice you have enough to build a deck. And I noticed that I was getting really high rank just playing for fun. And I got into it more and more. And last year they changed the rules to qualify for BlizzCon, and I thought I had a chance to get it, so I played more open tournaments and tried to actually get better, and it worked out.
So you started back in like beta, or was it after the game was out?
It was like the first month when it came out.
Okay. Now, hey, I want to make sure we're clear on it. So the game that you just won, and you're going to play to BlizzCon, you had to be convinced to try.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Did you have a background in card games or puzzle games, things of that nature?
Yeah, I played some poker and I played some Magic cards as well. So I really like just strategy games. So I tried pretty much every game there is.
Okay. Yeah, that we get a lot of the guests that we get. They come from backgrounds in Magic,
And or poker.
yeah, poker too. It seems to have elements of the chance aspect of it and calculating your odds and your outs. That's the poker part of it. I guess Magic is more very similar in a sense, being a collectible card game just like Hearthstone. Okay. And so what did you do early on? A lot of listeners like to know, to build up your collection. Were you okay? I'm gonna grind out some arenas, or did you just said, you know what? I'm just gonna plow the money and just build a collection that way.
Well, at first I just did the daily quest for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I just did the bare minimum until I got more hooked. And then I noticed the only way to really build your collection is to play arena. So I did that until I had enough to make a zoo deck. And then I just played that deck until I got legendary with it like a few months in a row. And I would just like get legend and then I would play some more arena until the month finishes and do that like every month. And after a while I noticed I had enough cards to make like Control Warrior and like Miracle Rogue. And I started like learning all these other decks. And when you start learning like different decks, it gets way more interesting to play than just play like one deck that you can get bored of. So after that I started playing a lot more and gradually like stopped playing all the other games I was playing back then and only played Hearthstone.
Yes, that's exactly where I am. I barely, I don't play any games. I try, but then it's always like, well, I gotta do the Hearthstone thing, so forget these other games.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, so I mean, so you don't buy the expansions or anything. You just build up gold, and then, or now you do buy those like League and Nax and that kind of stuff.
I usually just buy the expansions because I don't really like grind gold and try to get my 30 wins every day. Like a lot of days I don't even have time to play, and I figure like it's not the packs are not expensive enough that it's really worth it to play for like 5 hours to grind 100 gold, you know.
Right.
So I'd rather just pay for an expansion when they come out and just yeah, you don't need to pay so much compared to other games, so that's nice that way.
No, I don't. I don't think it's nowhere near as expensive as trying to keep up with something like Magic, which is wow.
Yeah, and like other games like Clash Royale, for instance, it's super expensive. Like a lot of games, it costs in the thousands easily to just like be competitive, but Hearthstone you can be competitive with like $20 here and there. So
Yeah, like
Yep.
every few months there's a 25, or maybe if you won the 50 packs, a $50 hit. That's not bad for a whole
Mhm.
year, you know. So yeah, I think that's fair, especially if you do all the dailies and stuff. You should have enough to build a collection.
Yeah,
Um,
and honestly, if I didn't craft golden cards, I've never paid anything. So you only need to pay if you want golden cards, basically.
I know Dan is a fan. I
Yep.
I'm not that into it. Maybe someday I'll get into it, but I know it's kind of a slippery slope because then I like the shine and it's like, oh, I need to get him, and
Yeah.
then that turns
Yeah.
into
How much dust are you sitting on again?
like
How much you got?
15,000 dust just in case I need it for something.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. Just think. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I just keep all my golden cards. That's all. I just haven't dusted any of them hardly. But yeah, I like them. They're that. I throw them in whenever every chance I get.
okay. So let's see. What's your favorite class to play in the game? Is there a particular one that you like more?
I feel lately the class I was having the most fun with is Druid. Because I really like the Khotun Druid playstyle. That was a lot of fun. Like you get a lot of like you can get some games that you play the control role, and some games you play the aggro role, and even like some kind of combos you can do with like Bran and some other stuff. And like depending on what you get from Raven Idol, there's a lot of variation between games, and the deck is still pretty consistent even given that. So that's what I liked about that deck.
Yeah, I was talking about that last week because I played a local tavern hero and I had a run in with a Cthulhu Druid. No, it was Yogg Druid, but I was like, how does all this RNG work out in their favor? I'm trying to play these simple, consistent decks, and this Raven Eyes all into who knows what, all the stuff they need. It was a little bit frustrating, but yes, it's a very powerful uh, class because they get to cheat stuff out early. I'm not a big fan, but it's okay. We won't. I won't hold it against you.
We had so much fun playing that deck last weekend.
Actually, it was a lot of fun. I gotta admit, the Cthulhu Druid turned out to be a lot of fun, even though we never played Cthulhu.
I know we didn't get to play because we'll have to try that again another week.
Okay. All right. So you're getting legend. You're getting the gold. You build your collection. When did you decide? All right, I think it's time. You said the way the points change. Is that when you started to get competitive and then entering all these tournaments? And Was it mostly online, local lands? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, I was like last year, like the second half of the year, I was just trying a different deck every month. So I played like Mech Mage, and then I played the Aggro Druid deck with Fell Reaver, and those decks, like I got top 10 Legend pretty much every month, playing like Face Hunter one month, just a different deck every month that I tried to learn. But the ladder was not super competitive because the ladder didn't like give you anything for getting high rank. So it was pretty, it was not super hard to get high ranks, but I noticed that I would do it pretty consistently. And then when they changed and they said now if you get top 100 ladder you can qualify for the prelims, and then at the prelims you can qualify for BlizzCon. I actually decided to do this. So for winter I just played ladder and I almost got top 100 both times, but I was just short. And then I noticed there was open tournaments that gave points as well. So I started playing in them, and after a while you start grasping the different strategy that is required for tournaments, and did pretty well in those tournaments, which qualified me for the prelims.
Okay. So what? Since you mentioned that, what would you say is the main difference between grinding ladder versus tournament play?
Well, in ladder you can't really like in tournaments you can ban, well, most tournaments you can ban a class, so you can build your deck. You can play decks that are bad against the best deck, for instance. Like right now on ladder, like the best decks are like Agro Shaman and Dragon Warrior, and like the main reason Warrior is so popular is because Shaman is so good, but it's bad against Warrior. So you get this kind of dynamic. But in a tournament, you can play 5 decks that are bad against Warrior that you wouldn't play on ladder, but you can just ban Warrior in the tournament. And since like on ladder you can face maybe 10 or 20 different decks, but in most tournaments it's really predictable what people are going to bring. Like especially right now, you know they're going to be Shaman, Warrior, Warlock, probably Hunter, and like either Druid or Mage. It's always exactly the same classes you expect, so you can really build a lineup according to like exactly what you expect. While on ladder it's you pretty much need to predict what your opponents are playing at that particular time. But like especially on NA ladder, the meta changes super quickly, and like other like players were talking about this as well. But you need to like get a pocket of, like, if you face like 10 aggro shamans in a row with the counter, then you can really climb. But sometimes you just face bad matchups constantly, and then you really lose ranks. While in the tournament, you can really mitigate that since everyone needs to play all these different decks.
Yeah, it's so true. In the tournament, that's everybody had those decks you mentioned. It was like Warlock, Warrior, Hunter, and then there was the Wild Spot, which there was like Druid or Mage, that kind of stuff. So it's fairly predictable. That's what I brought too. Oh, and Shaman, obviously. And I was I was banning Shaman anyway. That's something I need to work on. I don't get to play that many tournaments. I did way back. My claim to fame was that Archon Pinnacle, which it's been more than a year. But when I play somewhat competitively, but it's very hard with a family to try to find the time. Especially those online ones seem to take a long time. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on if somebody's short on time. Like you have a job you mentioned before the show, so how do you find time to play these online cups and stuff?
Well, the thing with tournaments is I can play them, like say I don't say if I work during the day, for example, I can just start a tournament when I get back from work, and they usually have like super long breaks when, let's say, you win the first round, then you have to wait like an hour for your other game to begin, so you can like get your food ready during that time. But of course it's gonna be like kind of time consuming, but usually it's single elimination, so if you lose the first round or the second round, you don't actually use that much time. But yeah, if you don't have like if you want to win it, it's probably gonna take like 4 to 6 hours on a weeknight. But if you do pretty well and you play like 2 or 3 tournaments every week, you can probably get like maybe an average of 1 or 2 points a week, and then that will be enough to qualify you. But you do need to play at a high level for it to be worth it. Otherwise, I would say just play some when you have some time to know how they work and just get a feeling for it, and just work on your game overall and play to learn and not necessarily play to win, because like playing to win will be beneficial if you're already at a high level, but otherwise just trying different decks and trying to learn more about the game is going to be better for you in the long run, I feel.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Yeah, very good. So, for those out there, you just gotta do it. There's no other way to do it but actually doing it. So, all right. So, you started doing that. You qualified, and this is your first time qualifying for spring, or did you qualify for winter?
I actually didn't qualify for winter,
So
only for spring.
this is your first time qualifying, and then you go all the way through. So, tell us a little bit about that journey from the early stages all the way through the live, stream championship and the big win.
Yeah, so you know about a month beforehand that you're qualified, so I had a month to practice. And for prelims, how it works is it's the top 128 players on ladder, and since I play quite a bit of ladder, I keep running into the same people. So I had about 20 or 25 people on my friends list that I talked to were also qualified for prelims. So they were interested in testing as well. So I talked with pretty much every one of them, tried to get an idea of what kind of strategies they were going for, and just to get an idea of what the meta would be. And I tested my decks quite a bit as well. And then, just show up to the prelims. There were like only 3 other people at my local prelim that was like 5 minutes walk from my house, actually.
Gotta like that.
That's nice.
Yeah, and then it's the same thing as playing a tournament from your home, except you're at a venue. So it was like overall a pretty fun experience.
So
Cool.
how many wins does it take from the preliminary to get to the top 8 that make it to the championship?
Only takes 5 wins actually, because it's a 120 or 150 person tournament. That is it's double elimination, but if you don't lose, it doesn't take that many games to cut to a top 8 from 100 people. So it's about 5 games, and if you're ranked high enough, you get a bye in the first round. So maybe like a third of the people had to play the first round, but everyone else got a bye. So I got a first round bye, and then I had to play 5 rounds. So it was like 4 rounds on the first day, and then I played 1 round on the second day. And since I didn't lose, I didn't have to go to losers bracket. And because if you lose first round, you can play like 10 games total. But if you don't lose, it's it's kind of a short tournament.
Okay. So then that gets you to top 8, and it's this where now you get flown out to California and all that stuff?
Exactly.
Like Blizzard? Okay. Did you get to go to Blizzard or not? Not this time. I'm not sure how it
Yeah,
works.
they actually fly you there 5 days in advance of the tournament, and you get 1 day to like all these interviews you can see during the stream. It takes the whole day to record them,
Okay.
because like we're not professional actors, obviously, so they make
Yeah.
us they coach us a lot, and they make us redo like what we're saying to make sure that it looks good on camera or whatever. So that takes the whole day. Then we
They
have
work with you guys to get a nice professional type production put together.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the guys
That's
there
good.
who work with us, they are professional at what they're doing, but like we're not professional at being interviewed and being on camera. So it was like a really new experience for me, at least. So we had like 1 day of that. Then the second day we got to go to Blizzard, where half of the day was again taking more pictures and videos, and the other day we got to visit and we met Ben Brode, we met the other developers, got to look around Blizzard HQ. So that was really fun. And then there's a day that is just used to practice, like the casters will practice what they're going to say during the tournament, and they tell us, you're going to walk there, you're going to sit there, you're going to do like a 30-second interview with Frodan, and just like a whole day to explain that to us, and then we have 2 days of tournament. So it's really a really long rehearsal to just play like 3 rounds of of Hearthstone for like the winners. Some people didn't even get to play that much.
Yeah. So I don't remember exactly, but you didn't lose, right? You went straight through and won all your games.
Yeah, I went 5-0 in the prelims and then 3-0 in the top 8. But like I had a lot of games. Like my last 4 matches went like the maximum amount of games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have to bring this up because in that final match, you have made people call for a nerf on young Dragonhawk because that was a pretty crazy thing. Like, was it against? Is it Rust? Was it Rusty?
Against Rusty, yeah.
Yeah. So Rusty has like a kill command, and he's like, "I'm not gonna spend a kill command on young Dragonhawk." Well, I think you should have because that was an 18 damage lethal young Dragonhawk, so that was pretty crazy.
And I'm pretty sure if he used kill command there, he was gonna die pretty soon regardless, because he couldn't do anything else with his turn, and I would have played probably 2 more minions since it's Zoo and I was gonna draw twice.
Yeah.
So it was looking pretty bad for him. He couldn't afford to do it.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty spectacular fashion. Just kind of flashy, you know. Maybe it wouldn't affect the outcome, but yes.
Yeah, I'm really glad that people like that because it was fun to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say. Okay, well, and then what happens? So you win the whole thing. What's kind of like the aftermath? Are you like part of a team or looking into that, or what's kind of next after the big win? I mean, you got to go to BlizzCon, of course.
Yeah, it was really hectic afterwards because I was flying back like the same day after I won. So I had that to take care of, and I was working like right away, going back to work. So I had that, and on one hand, I had like all my like friends and family were watching it, were messaging me, and a lot of people who were just watching the broadcast messaged me also to say just like good job, or I liked how you played, or whatever. So I got like a ton of messages I wasn't expecting, and I got a lot of like teams reaching out to me and people to interview me and all of that, which first of all I didn't really think that would happen necessarily, and yeah, it's been interesting and something I'm not used to, so it was like a fun experience. And yeah, right now I didn't join a team yet, but I'm talking to some teams.
Okay, very cool.
Excellent.
So I just thought of something. Did you go in? Was your mindset like, yeah, I'm gonna take this. I'm the best guy here. I have everything figured out, the meta, the decks, and I'm gonna win? Or were you more like, well, let's give this a shot? And like, what's kind of your mindset going into a tournament like this?
Well, of course, before the tournament, like before the deck list actually gets revealed, and like anything can happen because I don't know what decks other players are gonna bring. Maybe they're gonna discover something amazing and just bring decks that are better than anyone else's. But like the way I did it is I made like my overall strategy and just played decks that I had like a month to prepare for that tournament. So for during that month, I had some deck that I had success with, and I felt like I could play well. So that's the decks I decided to bring. And when I saw the other players' decks, I felt like there was some choices that I didn't think were really great, and I didn't feel like anyone had a really good lineup that I couldn't beat. And so yeah, I was pretty confident. Like they were all good players as well, but I didn't feel that I was at a disadvantage against any of them skill-wise, and I felt that I brought good decks, I know how to play, so I didn't see any reason why I wouldn't be good enough to win it.
That's good. That's a new thing that they do now, where they reveal all the decks, because it didn't used to be the case. You would have to submit them, but they wouldn't reveal them until after, and then there was, yeah. So I guess they changed that rule, so that's good. At least you get to see how to prepare a little bit different against your opponents. So, well, very good. Well, obviously, congratulations. That is a big win, and now we look forward to seeing you in November. Maybe taking the whole thing by then. But we'll see what the game looks like then. I mean, there's going to be probably some other expansion or adventure that's going to hit us. So should be pretty interesting from now till then. I don't know, Dan. Did you have anything else that you wanted to ask him before we kind of?
No, I think that was a very excellent interview there, friend.
Yeah.
I think we can move on to the deck for the evening. What do you think?
Well, let's just mention one thing.
Okay.
We had a new patron. Sean signed up at rank 15, so that is awesome. That gets him into the tournament. So again,
Yes.
HearthCoach, patreon.com/HearthCoach if you want information about the tournament and how it all works. And again, thank you so much for your support there.
Oh, okay. Well, one real quick because I didn't get this done last week, so I don't want to blow it off completely. We did have a couple of that happens. So I got one up this week from listener Drew. It's the first picture we have of a one-turn kill from his Miracle Rogue. So that's up there now.
Cool.
So wanted to get that in real quick. And now we
Yes.
can move on to some deck tech.
Yes. So Cydonia, I asked you, what would you like to play? You said I've been doing pretty well with this Dragon Warrior that has a Deathwing in it. So any excuse to play a Deathwing, I'm in. So I said let's try it. We did play a Dragon Warrior 2 weeks ago with XR Black Wolf, but it was a more controlled N'Zoth version. So this is kind of like a tempo dragon, but I'll let you take us through what you have here and maybe explain the cards and why are they in the deck.
Yeah, this is a deck that I looked into after the prelims because I noticed like Rusty, who was also in the top 8, played Dragon Warrior, and then afterwards I faced it on ladder about 3 times in a row. I think the same guy when I was Tempo Warrior and he was Dragon, and he won all 3 games. So I friended him, asked him a bit about the deck, and decided to try it. And then I was doing really well with it as well, so I kept doing it. And apparently this deck, like I've talked to Firebat and he said he had this deck before the prelims and he was trying to convince people to play it and didn't really manage it. People didn't believe him that it was good, and I think only like the Rat played it. But now it's funny because like a few months later everyone decided that it's actually way better than Tempo, and now everyone played it. But initially, like even though the deck was made so long ago, no one was like on the bandwagon.
That's interesting. So it's sort of like a blend of the tempo, but it has all these dragons. So
Yeah, exactly. It's like way more aggressive than Tempo Warrior. It doesn't have all these like synergy cards like Acolyte and Battle Rage that you need to combo with other cards. Like with Tempo, often like you have some strong early game cards like War Axe, and then in the mid game you try to do some Battle Rage turns, and then you will win the late game with
Right.
Varian and Rag and big cards. Whereas with Dragon Warrior, you just want to play more aggressively since you don't have any way to get card advantage. But everything is super aggressive, and having 2 War Axe and 2 Alexstrasza Champion makes it that you have pretty much the best early game of any deck.
yes.
So you can just get the board and never lose it, but usually you should like err on the side of playing more aggressively with this deck.
Yeah, I December of last year, I used a Face Warrior, and I started experimenting with Fairy Dragons and Alexstrasza's Champion on a Face Warrior, but not enough dragons to support it, so it didn't quite work as it should, because if you have a pure face, like, I'm talking South Sea deckhands, a bunch of weapons, that kind of stuff, it was hard to get the Alexstrasza's Champion to go off consistently. But this has like 8 or 9 dragons, so
Yeah, what is great about this deck, like for those who played Dragon Priest back then, usually Dragon Priest would run like 6, 7 dragons max, and even then you had to run some bad ones like the Dragon Sorcerer. I can't remember what it's called, but the 3/5.
Dragonkin Sorcerer, the 3/5
Dragon
before.
Sorcerer,
Yes.
yeah, that one is not even good, and you have to run it just to have enough dragons.
Yes.
And then often you can't even have any dragons to activate. It's super clunky.
Mhm.
But with this one, with 8 dragons that are all actually pretty powerful, that you don't mind drawing, the deck is pretty consistent for being a dragon deck.
Yeah, definitely. So do you want to run through quick some of the cards here for our listeners?
Sure. Well, the core of the deck is like all those cards you can't really remove and will be in every tempo or dragon deck, like Blood to Acre, Execute, War Axe, Alex Champion, Frothing, Ravaging Ghoul, Korkron, Twilight Drake, Azure Drake, Corruptor. So basically those will be in every deck, and the cards that are like you don't really have to run are like Deathwing and Malkorok. Um, those are pretty much the like. I feel it's important to have many threats so you can win the control matches, because otherwise they will just run you out. If you have only like 5 threats, sometimes you will lose because you will have the board, and after a while you don't have anything to kill them with. So I like this version better, but if you expect to face a lot of zoo and those kinds of decks, well, some people like Rossi, for instance, they were playing Enzod's First Mate and some some faster cards like that to have a better chance of getting the board early. But I don't enjoy that style of play as much. I like having Tress to make sure I can fill out the game.
Okay. But if somebody doesn't have a Malkorok, or even a Deathwing,
Yeah,
then
if you cut those cards, you should play just smaller cards. Like you can cut both of those and just use like a Fairy Dragon and a First Mate instead, and
Okay.
you'll be better against Zoo, but you'll be worse against Katoon Warrior, for instance.
okay, so if you the more of the big stuff that you cut, it hurts against those bigger, controlly or more sturdy decks, but it helps you against the more aggressive decks.
Yeah, exactly.
The version I had screenshot first. I was playing with exactly this list that we're showing, but I read something. Some guy made some modification. It included getting rid of what was it, Malkorok, and putting N'Zoth, or maybe a Blood to Acre for a First Mate, and then Malkorok went away for what was it, a Nefarian, and maybe a Draconic Crusher, and they put in a Fierce Monkey because they thought that helped against the early aggression. So again, like you said, those are more of the optional things, but Frothing Berserkers, Corcoran Elites, Ravaging Ghouls, you'll never sub those, right? Those are just too important.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to use First Monkeys, like I know that some people were cutting Frothing for First Monkey. I don't think this is really a good choice because the Frothing is like it really has taunt and is usually bigger than 3/4, so it's
Yeah,
gonna be better than First Monkey in most cases, I feel, and you win a lot of games if you just stick a Frothing and they can deal with it. Sometimes you will just kill them with it in the next 1 or 2 turns, which
absolutely.
First Monkey cannot do, obviously. Like it will be better in some games. But usually, if you want to play it in addition to Frothing and Ravaging Ghoul, now you have really a lot of 3-drops. And people were maybe cutting Draconid Crushers to do that. Like, you can try it. I really encourage people to try things, but that's not the direction I wanted to go with this list. Actually, the list with the Deathwing is it's Bear Nugget who made it. But he was really like just one card off from the list I was playing at the championship. Just like he had one Deathwing and I had Fairy Dragon instead.
Okay.
But just having Deathwing will really change a lot of matchups because when you add a card to beat slower matchups, like say if you play against Control Warrior, a lot of games will go to Fatigue or you will have like 5 cards in your deck, so you will draw almost all of the deck. So having one different card that is really impactful, like Deathwing, will have a big impact. However, if you want to tech against aggro, for instance, and let's say you play one Enzod's First Mate because you want to be better against aggro, well, a game against aggro will maybe last 7 turns or 8 turns, so you have a lot less chance of drawing that card in the early stages. So you almost need like 3 cards that are good against aggro to have like the same impact as one card that is good against control.
Okay. All right. So, how would you describe? I mean, we'll get into a couple games here, but how does it play? It's a tempo deck, I suppose. So you're just trying to get board control early and just maintain it. Let me ask this way: what happens to me sometimes with this deck is if you fall behind, how do you get back into it?
Well, there's a few ways to do that. Sometimes you will play a Twilight Guardian on turn 4 and they can't really deal with it. Like they might need 2 cards to deal with it, and then you can play like Blackwing Corruptor the next turn and just get back on board and flip it that way. Against decks that will flood the board, Rabbit and Ghoul can just clear the whole thing as well. And also Execute can be a 1 mana kill anything. So let's say, for example, they play a big thing on turn 5, and then on turn 6 you can play like a 4-drop, Blood to Acre, and execute their big thing, and immediately you have the board back. So those are the main ways of getting the tempo back, basically using your cheaper cards mid-game to play more than 1 card in a turn, like a bit like Tempo Mage will do. Like they can get a mid-game and just play like Drake, and then Arcane Blast your drop, and then they just steal the board like immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So you could say it plays a bit similar to Tempo Mage. It has a lot of reach as well, like 2 Croconalis, 2 Alex Champions, a lot of weapons, Blackwing Corruptor that can go face. So if you can get them down to about 15 health early, usually you'll be able to close out the game with your reach.
Yeah, definitely. Do you find running out of cards to be a problem, or because
Very rarely,
it curves out, you don't really play too many things at once, so normally you'll be fine?
Yeah, you don't have that much card draw, but even in this deck I noticed I play Slam a lot just as like Dark Bomb, for instance.
Just
You
to
don't
kill
really
something?
need to draw the card. Like you can think, if like would I play Dark Bomb in this spot to kill this creature? And if the answer is yes, you can just play the Slam. You don't always need to draw with it. You can also get Warlock Hero Power of Finlay that can help with the draw. And with this many big drops, like when you have a lot of big drops in a deck, you don't need as much card draw. And when you have a lot of small drops, you want more card draw. Like a bit like Zoo, you can, like, you have card draws. You just put small drop in your deck. It works a bit the same way with the other classes as well.
Okay, so you're not afraid to use Slam like let's call it a quick shot, because this is not wild, but not Dark Bomb, but you use it for just the removal. Okay, I sometimes hesitate. It depends, but yeah, that's a good thing. All right, Dan, any questions here before we get into it?
No. I know we had talked earlier. You had a nice mulligan chart. I guess you might hope to share with us later on. But we've been going on and on about things, so
Yep.
we will maybe do something with that later on. But
well,
you do have a really nice mulligan chart that you laid out for this thing. I would suggest anyone, to look. There's many of these types of things out there, so do a little investigating into writing this out.
If you are,
I will be.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to like plug other people, but
go for it.
Yeah, after the tournament, I was still playing this deck, and when other players that are good write guides, I'm always interested to see what they do different. So there was That's Admirable, who posted a mulligan guide on his YouTube, and Bear Nugget, who made this deck with the Deathwing, also posted a guide on Reddit. So you can check those out if you want to have a good idea what to do generally.
Oh yeah, if you have, when you send me the chart, if you have those links and you want me, I can put them with the show notes so people can get to them directly. Absolutely. That's awesome.
Sure, I'll send them to you afterwards.
Great.
Yeah, no. Don't hesitate to promote or mention whoever. We're not precious like that.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, do you stream or not yet, or is it something you're looking into?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably start a stream in the next week or 2 weeks, whenever I get some time. I've been meaning to stream, and everyone keeps asking me about it. It should happen soon.
Yeah, well, if you're thinking about joining a team, streaming will be kind of a required thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's required for most teams, but they definitely will encourage you to do it.
Yeah, it's kind of some of the necessary things to help, like, pay for things.
Yep.
Like, they have sponsors that'll if you stream for so much and whatnot. Anyway, that I just remember that from some of the discussions we've had with some of the other people along the way.
There's one more. You keep going on and on, but I just keep thinking of things. All right, last question, then we'll promise we'll get into it. A lot of talk about Yogg Saron. What's your take on that? Like, essentially, people are saying it's not good for the game because it's such a powerful thing that is so random and it just takes away the competitiveness and blah 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 blah. So, do you have any thoughts on Yogg you want to share?
Yeah, well, what I feel about it, it's a 10 drop. So if you compare it to the other 10 drop that were printed, they're all really powerful cards. If you compare it to Katoon and Enzot and like Deathwing or all these cards will win the game a good amount of the time they are played. So Yogg is the same way, and I wouldn't say, like, I would say probably Katoon wins the game. Katoon or Nazad, they will win the game more often than Yogg will, maybe. But Yogg will win games that no other card can do, and that's like the main problem people have with it. But as a 10 drop, it still has to be powerful. But I think it's more powerful than they thought it would be. And they probably would make it differently if they could redo it, because it's everywhere right now. And I think it was intended to see fringe play or see more casual play, but not really be part of a super competitive deck. And yeah, it kind of sucks that games are decided by Yogg RNG, if you will. But when you pay 10 mana for a card that you build your deck around, like with most other decks, it's gonna just win you the game. Like when someone plays Nazat and brings back like Tyrion and 2 other cards, they're gonna win almost every time as well. So
Right. But
you gotta accept that if you play against decks that have a dead 10 drop in hand, you gotta beat them before they play it.
yeah, the first I crafted a Yogg, and the first time I played it was one of those lost cause. This I'll never win, but it won the game. So I see that point, that it's a combat mechanic like no other. Like completely lost game, nothing I can do, and all of a sudden you're back in it and win. So yeah, okay. Well, we'll see if they do anything about it. I doubt it, but just wanted to get that out there because there's been a lot of conversation. So all right, Dan. Let's go
Okay,
for it.
just give me a second before we start, because I need to plug my laptop. Apparently it's gonna die. Give me a
Okay.
second.
No worries.
Yeah. What about you,
Oh,
Dan?
good.
You have any thoughts on Yogg?
I haven't noticed it really being that big of an imbalance. I mean, not in my games. I can't say like every time I've played it, it's won me the game. You know.
I'm just
So-
salty because it cost me that tournament, but that's all.
Well, any card could end up costing you a tournament, but
No, it's just that one, Dan. See, well, there is the thing about when you play Yogg, it's almost like a reset, right? Because it doesn't matter what's happened, because it sort of resets the state of things. So
yeah, it does. And you still got to get to turn or to at least 10 mana somehow to play it. So.
Well, yeah, that's the first requirement to actually get there. So, all right, let's do it.
Yes. I am ready. Because I liked seeing Deathwing in this deck, because long before we started the podcast, I liked playing Deathwing in some of my decks that I tried playing when I was just floundering around on my own. But he was a lot of fun and won me some games way back when. So I was excited to see him in the deck.
Yeah, it's a fun card, and as well, sometimes you will like, do I really need to play it now, or can I afford to wait a turn and bait more cards, or does he have the execute for it or not? So you kind of have to make some reads and think about when you're going to play it. So
Yeah,
it's more balanced than maybe Yogg, that you would just like, it's really obvious if you should play it or not most of the time.
It's usually your last resort. A lot of those 10 mana cards is like your last resort. You're like, well, we're at 10. This doesn't look good. Okay, bam. Let's see what happens.
Yep. All right, I'm excited to see some high-level Dragon Warrior. Hopefully I'll pick up a thing or two. Try to get out of this rank 8 hole. No offense, Dan, but...
Oh,
So feel free to start it up.
Okay, here we go. Pushing the button.
Yep.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
at rank 17, it's always, well, who knows? We've seen some
Oh,
stuff over
yeah.
here.
It can be interesting. Can be quite an entertaining podcast. Okay.
All right, I'm in. Let's see
Yep.
it.
Everybody's in.
Priest.
Okay, I'm going second. This doesn't look like I'm going to keep much of this hand. I got the Blackwing Corruptor, Execute, Azure Drake, and Ragnaros. I would be inclined to keep Execute and throw everything else back.
Yeah, you can keep execute if you want against priest. I might just throw everything back as well.
Okay,
Like both
right?
can work. If you want to try it, you can try it.
I
Well,
would
I'm going to
throw.
go with what you suggest because the decisions I've been making lately haven't been working out. So
I'm
I'm going to and ditch it.
I'm on the throw it away all plan, but that's
Okay.
you know.
Yes, some people say you should keep execute against priest, but with a hand where you don't have anything to do, I would try to get something.
Okay, well, here we go again with me getting the back end of my deck because I got the 2 Draconid Crushers, Gromosh, and the Twilight Guardian. And I drew an Execute.
All right, so
So
our friend the priest went first, and he played a Northshire cleric. So,
And that was my hand. So I'm just going to end my turn because there's nothing I can do.
all right, turn 2 for priest. He's playing another Northshire cleric.
Wait.
Okay.
All right. Well, I draw Koricon Elite. I have that Execute the coin, the 2 Draconoid Crushers in my hand, Chromosh, and the Twilight Guardian. So I guess I'll just armor up and pass.
For sure, but
Yeah.
still you can like coin 4-drop into 4-drop, so
Yeah.
things should be pretty good. He's not putting any pressure, so we should have some time.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, turn 3 for the priest. He plays a Bran Brunsbeard and goes to face with both of its clerics.
All right. I draw a Malkrok, but I believe should I just go ahead and coin out the Guardian? Let
I
me
think
see.
you should get rid of Bran while you can.
Oh, okay.
Like it's a priest. It might be like a priest with Bran might be dragon priest. He, like all the dragons have battle cries. Maybe he can make like a 4/10 Twilight Drake next turn, or not so sure if it's that threatening. But I don't see any reason not to kill it with Corcron. Like the worst
Okay.
case scenario, you get a 2-for-1.
All right, so we're coining out the Koricon Elite, and I'm going to run that into Bran. He's gone. The Korcon's got a point. Quick recap, I got the Malkrok, Execute, 2 Draconoid Crushers, Gromosh, and the Twilight Guardian.
All right, it's turn 4 for priest. He has 4 cards. 2 clerics. One's gonna take down the Korcron. It's Cthulhu's Chosen. So yeah, that would have buffed Cthulhu twice. So it's good we got rid of that Bran. Then he goes face with the cleric for 1.
I picked up a Blackwing
That's
Corruptor.
an excellent card.
Yes. But I can't play it yet, but I can play the Twilight Guardian. So I imagine I just go ahead and throw that down now.
Yeah, it's your only play, so go for it.
There's only
I
one
like
card.
to double check, even though it's the only play.
I appreciate it, but yeah.
All
Like I
right.
said, my decision making hasn't been the best lately.
There's
So
another Cthulhu's Chosen, and then a Power Word Shield on the Cthulhu's Chosen that is going to attack. And if you've been listening to this show, you'd know that that would irritate me because he should have drawn first to see what options the card would give him. But it's okay.
okay, well,
He
I drew,
let me see. He popped the shield on the buffed Cthulhu Chosen by hitting the Guardian, setting it to 2 health, and then just ended the turn.
and I drew Alex Strauss's Champion, and I have the Blackwing Corruptor that I couldn't. Oh, I could use the so I played Blackwing Corruptor and take out the priest or the cleric rather?
I wouldn't do that because I would use Corruptor for sure for curve purposes because you don't want to use like the 2-drop here. But you can just kill the 1-3 with the 3-2 and it doesn't change anything, and Corruptor the shield on the 4-2 on the left.
Okay.
Like the reason I want to do that is because basically you get your 3 damage. Like it's always better to use your spells or spell effects to hit the biggest creatures and use your minions to trade into the smallest minions, because your minions like they get damage and the spells they just you don't take any damage for them. And then like taking 1 extra on the 3-2 make it a 3-1 didn't change anything for his trading, so it was better to do it this way.
Gotcha.
All right, so he
you guys agree? Yeah.
Yes.
So he took the 4/4 into the Guardian and killed it. Then he took the 4/2 into the Corruptor and killed it. Then he healed his Cthulhu's Chosen to a 4/3. Then he played a Museum Curator after that, and he picked up a Thalnos out of that Curator. So that's what he has.
Yeah, so basically we're in a situation now where he has 3 cards, we have 7 cards, so I feel there's no reason to we can just keep gaining card advantage and win this way. So of course you can play a 6-drop, but then you can trade into it and play more stuff. If you play, for instance, Alex Champion and Corcoran and trade into the 2 small guys, then you have a better board than he does, and like just take advantage of the fact that Priest 0 power can't really interact well when you damage your minions. It doesn't really matter against Priest. Like the only way to punish this play would be to play like Holy Nova.
Yeah.
But if he does that, he wastes his ult turn, and then you can play a bigger minion and still be up. So there's no way this can really backfire.
So
basically that's what I did. I did the Corcoran and Alex Strauss's champion play.
Take down the 2 little minions. And alright, so he has 5 cards. He's healing the Chosen, then trading into what's that guy, the champion, and then playing a Shifting Shade.
Okay. I drew a slam on my turn. I got Malkorok, Execute, still got the 2 Draconoid Crushers and Grommash in my hand.
Yeah, you could Crusher and execute the 4-1, but here I would just Malkorok and see what we get.
Hopefully
we're guaranteed to be able to clear his board, whatever we get. So
yeah.
Okay.
The 3 attack, well, it doesn't matter, yeah. Yep.
Playing Malkorok. What do I get? Oh, that's not too bad. A True Silver Champion.
That's really good.
So, would you clear the board?
I would clear the Shade, but I don't think there's any reason to clear the 4-1. So you can go face with Corcoran and kill the Shade with the weapon.
Okay.
Like, if you can think your reason to clear the 4-1, let me know, but I don't think there's any reason.
Like Holy Nova again, I guess, or Excavated Evil, but
Well, he will get the same... Yeah, he can get a bit better trades if he has Holy Nova. I didn't have it the other turn, though.
Yeah, he could protect the Malkorok a little bit. That's the only thing I saw, but Alright, so he plays Sylvanas, and he had a Fiery War Axe out of that Shifting Shade. He's going to use it to take down the Corcoran, and then go face with Cthulhu's Chosen. He's at 22, and so are we.
I draw Deathwing. So I have Deathwing, Slam, Execute, Draconid, Crushers, and Grommash. So do I use Malkorok to get rid of
just trade
Sylvanas?
Malkorok in, because that's going to happen regardless. And now your options, you can Grom or not Grom. Maybe it's better to keep Grom for burst later, and you can just... maybe you even want to keep the weapon to clear a bigger threat, and you can just Crusher now and slam this. That's what I would do in any case. I would Crusher and slam that.
So just slam.
You would play Draconoid Crusher?
Yeah.
Okay, playing Draconoid Crusher, and then we're going to slam the Chosen.
Oh.
And holding the weapon.
Yes.
Basically, what this accomplishes in this deck, you get into a lot of these situations where you can use a spell you have in hand, like a cheap spell, to clear a creature, or you can use your weapon. But what this makes is you can use your weapon in a later turn, and then it like frees up some of your mana to do more, and you can still have the weapon. So I feel like these kinds of line are usually better than the alternative with this deck.
Okay, in his turn 9, he played a Twilight Darkmender, which healed him for 8, because it heals for 10, and because of Cthulhu is at 10. And then he Power Word shielded, he got a card, and then he swung at our faces with the weapon, and ended the turn.
And then I drew a Frothing Berserker. 9 mana.
Yeah, basically your options are like you could play Crusher and Frothing and then trade both, but that doesn't seem super genius. What will leave you with the best board after our turn is like hit Grom into it, execute, and go face with Dragonid. So then he will have like 2 big minions that he will have to deal with next turn. And you still have a lot of follow-ups, so I don't really mind using Grom this way.
Okay, so you said play Grom now?
Play Grom, hit into his minion, execute it, and go face with the 6/6.
Okay. And you keep
And
the
we're
weapon,
holding
right?
the weapon, right?
Yeah.
Yes, to still keep the weapon. Basically, what the weapon does is he can't really play any small minion because that's just gonna die.
Alright, so he
Of course,
plays Cthulhu.
he can play a big minion, but that can be dealt with pretty easily.
Alright, so Cthulhu cleared the Grom and put 3 damage into the Crusher, and then the rest went face, and that's that.
So we're at 15. I drew Slam. Do we slam Cthulhu and draw a card?
Yeah, I feel it's pretty likely here that he will have a way to like if we Deathwing to clear this board, he can probably deal with the situation. If we slam, like we have 1 more execute we can draw. You can like maybe play Frothing and then slam. Is that better?
Okay.
I probably would try that, like Frothing then slam.
Play Frothing. Then we're gonna slam Cthulhu. See what kind of card we get. We get
Blood to
Blood of
Ichor.
the Ichor.
Sure. Yeah, the Blood to Ichor, you don't want to play it this turn. Just hit both into Cthulhu and armor up.
Okay, with my face,
Yeah, with your face, you have to do it.
Just take 10 like a champ.
take 10 like a man.
Like it's a priest, so he shouldn't have any burst. His only way to get burst at this point is to like Doomcaller and Cthulhu again, or like really unlikely things that priest doesn't usually normally do.
Like Velen, Darkness, Flash Heal. Alright, so he plays on the Zoth.
Yeah, this is
Ouch.
this is bad, but it's not that bad because we kept the Deathwing for this situation. So, well, you probably know what to do. We don't have a choice at this point. You have to trade into Sylvanas and Deathwing.
Yeah. Whew. But at least we clear this, because that was scary. Whoops.
Yeah, this game is not looking really good. Like, the cards that are really bad for Dragon Warrior are cards like Sylvanas, because you need to always trade your old board into it, and then if he gets in the Zout turn 10, then you have really limited options, so this game is not looking so good.
He's played Cthulhu and Nazoth, so...
Yeah, he's had a really a great draw.
It's pretty good.
Welcome to my world.
I know, it's like, this is my week. The guys that draw all the stuff.
Well,
Alex
at least I got a
Travis
witness.
champion. Not active.
Yeah, he probably got that from Shifting Shade.
Yes, he did. Disciple of Cthulhu to the face. Man, aggressive. Wow, no answer to Deathwing. Execute.
I draw, execute. Lovely.
Well,
So do we use Deathwing because we're at 7, or do we just go to the face and...
I don't think we can afford to start trading into his minions because he has so much card advantage. I would just try to close out this game.
All right,
And
so
with
armor up.
armor up, basically he does 2 damage a turn with his team, which is not really threatening.
Yeah, and he doesn't draw Shadow Word Death. Or Entomb. I don't know how he deals with this. Well, we'll see. He drew another card. He's drawn 20 cards, and there is the Entomb
Yeah,
of
he
the
drew
top.
Entomb.
So yeah, that was the way to deal with it. Well, that's a shame.
Well, he probably does not have another big removal, so we can still draw like Rag or something like that.
Ooh, Azure
No,
Drake.
Azure Drake. Play the Azure Drake. And we get a
Oh.
Twilight Guardian.
Wrong order, but
Do we drop the Guardian now, or do you want to hold it?
Probably better just to armor up this turn.
just
Okay,
because
armor up.
you would die to Holy Nova, I guess.
Yeah, he would die to Only Nova if you don't armor up, and we could draw another dragon, or we could draw a card that needs a dragon to activate, so it's always good to keep a dragon if it's not going to do much to play it.
Beckoner Evil, Twilight Darkmender. You put a second Deathwing in there, Dan, that I know about?
Yeah.
No?
No, I tried.
Oh.
I get Frothing Berserker. Is there much we can do here?
I think we're just dead on board. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just going to concede this one and move on to the next one. But I don't think getting the back end of my deck right away helped us much.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
he had a really, really slow hand, and his deck was super control-y, so we were definitely like the aggro in this matchup, so we needed a more aggressive start. And he
Nope.
didn't play any removal whatsoever. He didn't really have to, but he didn't have Oli Nova or anything. He just played bigger minions than us the whole game.
Yeah, because
Okay.
Tuna and Nazoth are pretty decent and pretty big.
Yeah.
Jeez.
All right, we're playing against Mage. I'm going first. I drew Slam, Melkorok, and Execute. Well, I know we're not going to keep Melkorok. Do we
Yeah.
keep Execute or Slam?
No, you almost never keep Execute, so I wouldn't keep
Right.
it. Slam is good. Like, Slam is at its best against Mage because they have 3/2s that are really powerful. Doesn't mean you will always keep it, but you can really strongly consider keeping it. Obviously, you want your best cards like Warax, Alex Champion, etc. But if you expect Tempo Mage, then Slam is good at rank. At this rank, I don't know if we expect Tempo Mage, or it could be probably more like some kind of Reno Mage or other things. People like probably.
Enough of Reno.
Like if it's
Okay.
Reno Mage, Slam is really bad. So I don't think I would have kept it because it's only good against Tempo Mage.
Well, I got Blood of Vicar and Draconid Crusher on the mulligan. I drew an Alex Ross's champion, so there's nothing I can play, and that's my turn.
Going a little robot, Dan, on me.
Uh-oh.
Okay, sound good now.
Excellent. Well, our mage friend didn't do anything, so do I go ahead and drop this Alex Ross's champion?
Yeah, just jam his face.
Let's just get the party started.
Let's do it.
Give him a Frostbolt target. Make him have it. Let's see.
Yep.
Loot Hoarder. Ooh.
Okay. Now, I would ignore the Loot Hoarder. Ooh, I drew my other Blood of Vicar. Would I use this, do I use the Blood of Vicar to get rid of?
Yeah, I think you should use it because like Blood to Acre means it's either like a word deck or it's freeze mage, so you're not gonna get value out of Blood to Acre in any case. So.
And armor up. End my turn.
Alright, turn 3 for our mage. That appears to be freeze, but we'll see. A coin. No. Or I haven't seen this in a while. Ogre Magi.
Okay, well, I drew a Twilight Guardian. Yeah, I would be inclined to play the Twilight Guardian.
Yeah, I think it's fine to play it and ignore his minion. Then what happens is he has to deal with our stuff, and if he cannot deal with it, we can just like corrupt turn next turn or still have some good tempo plays. So it's fine to just play the biggest minion.
Cool. I have still have my other Blood of Vicar in hand, the Blackwing Corruptor Slam, and Draconid Crusher.
Okay, turn 4 for a friend the mage. He's like a spell power mage. He's fireballing our guardian and trading into our Alex Strazus champion.
Okay, I drew Frothing Berserker.
So just
Corruptor?
Yeah, just Corruptor. With
Okay.
this deck, Corruptor is like 90% of the time going to be your best option on turn 5 if it can kill anything, or even turn 4 with coin. It's one of the best cards in the deck. So
Okay, he plays an Azure Drake, draws a card.
Yeah, and there's Deathwing, a little early for the party. So I have that, Frothing Berserker, Blood of Vicar Slam, and the Draconid Crusher. Do I go ahead and slam and draw a card?
I feel you can play. Yeah, because if you slam and draw War Axe, it's better to slam first. So just slam and see what happens. The other consideration was like frothing before slam.
So I drew my other Draconid Crusher. So got
Yeah,
4
basically,
mana.
yeah, your options are, it depends if you want to protect the frothing or not. Because you can just make a whiteboard otherwise. Like you can frothing and then you can Ichor that and just go face with the 5/4 and make him deal with our stuff.
So play. Go ahead and play the Frothing.
Yeah, I would frothing, Ichor, and go face.
What am I gonna Ichor?
The Drake.
The Drake. You're just putting more stuff on the board. So a question here: would you ever just trade and play the Crusher, as opposed to slamming for?
Well, if we slam and get War Axe, we just win the game right there. Or if we get Execute. So
okay, so
that's why I like slamming.
So it's worth the
chance. It's not even that bad the way it turned out, even if it wasn't perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, I drew Sir Finley.
So you know you're gonna play Finley anyway, so you can just play it first, see what. Let
me recap what he did. He played a Faceless Summoner on turn 6. It brought in a Amgam Rager, just a 1/5 for 3, and he traded the Drake into the Frothing. So he left us with the Corruptor and the Slime.
So go ahead and play Sir Finley.
Yeah.
So
well, don't need to worry about playing anything. Our
our
opponent gave up.
Far ahead there, because I'm assuming you would have gone phase and play the 9/9, right? I mean, that's.
Yeah, you could, like, the options were go face with everything, play Finlay and a 9/9, or trade the 5/4 into maybe the 1/5, and then go face with a 2/2 to activate 9/9. The only like punish if you just make a board and go face is he can Flame Strike.
Flame Strike. Mm-hmm. Well,
all right.
Doesn't seem like he had it, or just didn't want to wait, so he quit.
All right. Oh, well, it's game 3. Let's see what we get. Hey, another worthy opponent. Imagine that.
All right, let's see what we got.
Some warrior on warrior action.
Okay.
Hey, Ragnaros. Deathwing. Again, everybody from the needs to show up last here in my hand first. So, do we keep the Frothing Berserker?
Yeah, I guess Warrior you want to keep Frothing. It's pretty difficult to deal with for Warrior.
I get my other Frothing.
Oh, there it is.
Fiery War Axe and Blood of Vicar.
For the first time, you get the War Axe. Every opponent I face has it somehow, but you just got it. 1 of 3.
Yay, War Axe.
You got Alex Strazus champion, so can't complain too much.
No,
Alright, turn 1 for Warrior, and he passes.
I draw Slam. So do I I guess I would pass. I'm tempted to coin out the fiery war axe, but it's not really necessary.
Yeah, you never coin turn 2 in these kinds of situations. You only want to coin with this deck if you will gain like significant tempo by coining, or you're gonna die if you don't, or like extreme situations. In this situation, the war axe, you want to hit something with it. There's no reason to coin. And the best use of coin when you have a deck with many expensive cards often will be like on turn 7 or 8 to play like Ragnaros one turn earlier or Malkarok one turn earlier. So like coining turn 2 is really low impact, especially against Warrior where like they can deal efficiently with your early game as well, so you don't want to waste the coin for that. Now you can just play War Axe though.
Okay. So I drew rags. So go ahead and play the fiery war axe now.
Yeah, because you could like play coin frothing into frothing, but if you War Axe now, you can play frothing Ichor next turn if necessary, or just frothing if you don't need the Ichor. So now you can counter every one of his possible plays.
No
and
swing,
Hold the
right?
axe.
Yeah, you hold it for sure.
Okay, so I played the fiery war axe, and I'm just going to pass.
Yeah, if he still doesn't play anything on turn maybe 4, then you can consider hitting his face or
Alright, so he didn't do anything. He armor up again. He's up to 4
Yeah.
armor.
I drew a ravaging ghoul. So is that a good enough reason to go ahead and drop a frothing berserker now?
yeah, you go frothing for sure. And it's probably good to hit face, because if you hit face now, he's going to have 1 armor, so he can't armor up and still slam the berserker. So that's a great reason to hit face this time.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's what I did.
If it's control, we'll see. It
Yeah,
looks
so
like it.
Quick recap, I got the Ravaging Ghoul, Ragnaros Slam, a coin, Blood of Vicar, and my other Frothing Berserker in my hand.
You know, if it's control, he has really limited options to deal with the frothing other than like executing it or shield block, really extreme things. Or Ichor War Axe if he is so inclined.
Blood to Ichor, Fiery Wind Axe, and that's how he deals with it. So it's sort of tempo, maybe. We'll see.
So, turn 4, I draw a Malkarok. So, there's not much reason to play the other Frothing Berserker, because he just kill it.
Well, he's not gonna kill it because he just has axe, so frothing will still survive. Like
He
you
has
have
the
a few
axe and
options
sword.
here, like you can Ichor and then Ghoul, which will like kill everything and leave you with a 2-1. Or you can Berserker alone, you can Berserker and Ghoul, and Ichor.
Okay, so
I don't think getting Ichor out is really worth it against a warrior like this. It's probably better to keep it for later. I would just frothing and then it is 2-2.
Just kill that, yeah. But probably.
Alright, so I played the Frothing Berserker and I used my axe to take out his 2/2 slime. And that's it.
Yeah, that's it for this turn.
Okay, it's turn 5. He has a 3/1 Fiery War Axe. He's got 28 health, now 25. He just swung into the Berserker and plays a Ghoul to finish it off, and then armors up.
Okay, so I draw Fairy Dragon. We have 5 mana. Do we slam? Draw a card?
Of course.
Okay, slam. We get, oh nice, well, we get Alex Strauss's champion.
Yeah, you will Ghoul here for sure, because it's your most efficient way to clear that while gaining the board.
Just Ravaging Ghoul, yeah. That's...
Oh, okay, play Ravaging Ghoul.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I don't think... I mean, they normally won't go too wide, where 1 damage like this will do much, right? It's more of a execute activator, and we have a Ichor anyway, so...
Yeah, there's no reason to coin Ichor here. It's not going to do anything. We're not putting any pressure. We're going to have to play for the long game. So,
right, so you play the second Fiery War Axe and a Blackwing Technician, so it's like a dragon, but not like ours.
Yeah, so now you could Crusher, or you could coin Malkarok. Pretty sure Crusher is just better, even if it's not low, because it's like Malkarok would be good if we get a 5 attack weapon, but
Yeah.
that's really unlikely. And then next turn we will have options, either Malkarok, Coin Rag, or play multiple small cards depending on what he does.
All right, so I'm playing the Draconid Crusher I just bought? Just drew.
There's only 3 weapons with 5 or more, right? Arcanite Reaper, Gladiator's Longbow, and Gorehowl?
I'm pretty sure those are the only 3, yeah.
So that's kind of slim.
Yeah, it's super unlikely. It's like maybe like 10% or 8%.
Yeah, it's like 30 something. So yeah, not very good. Just running through that, so people are calculating odds. Alright, so he dropped a Frothing, he dropped an Alexstrasza's Champion. And he's thinking about dropping something else, I think. He has 3 cards left in his hand. I wonder
So if you want to start thinking about our options, so he has like 3 creatures. So if we Coin Rag, we're really likely to clear one of them. And the other option is to Malkarok. And if we get a 2 attack weapon or a 3 attack weapon, we can clear something with it and Coin Acre.
Alright, so he ran the
so
Alexstrasza's Champion into the Crusher and then executed it. And then went face with the Technician.
Yeah,
Hey,
so
we
if
drew.
if we Malkarok here, it's really bad if we get a small weapon. So I'm pretty sure Rag is just going to be better.
He just Rag,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. We're going to go ahead and coin out Ragnaros. I drew an Azure Drake on that. I got Alexstrasza's Champion, Fairy Drake, Malkarok, and a Blooded Earth still in my hand.
Alright,
So-
Rag.
And my turn. Come on, Rag. Don't let me
Oh,
down.
he went face.
It goes to the face. Okay.
Your kind of Rag, Dan.
Yeah, that's not what we wanted, but at the same time, we're ahead on cards, and he can't really threaten lethal right now, so it shouldn't be too bad. Like,
Yeah.
he might just have to trade into Rag. He's going face, but we can clear a bit of his board now.
So he
And,
played
like-
played an Azure Drake, a Fairy Dragon, and went face with everything he's got.
Okay, I drew and execute.
Yeah, so we just want to clear as much of his board as we can this turn.
Okay.
Like, if we play Malkarok, we can clear 1 card for sure. If we play, like, Alex Champion, Acre, Execute, we can clear 2 of his cards, so that might be better. Like, you can play Champ and...
Alright, playing
that's-
Alexstrasza's.
So do you Icar the Frothing
Yeah,
first?
what I would do is, like, I would Champ, I would Acre the Frothing, clear the Frothing with Execute, and then you can trade the Champ into the Fairy Dragon, and just play your own Fairy Dragon, since you have the mana for it and armor up. And then we hope Rag is gonna hit one of his minions this turn.
Come on,
All
Rag.
right, everybody. Hope you followed all that, because that's what I did.
Come on, Rags.
Ending my turn. Come on, Rag.
Okay, killed the Azure Drake. So that's good, Rag.
Very
Alright, so
good.
he's left with the 3/5. Alright, he's Blood to Icaring Rag. He is Corrupturing Fairy Dragon. He now decides to trade into the Slime and armor up. So a pretty imposing board again. Ooh.
I draw a slam. So is this a Malkarok turn now and hope for a decent weapon?
Yeah, I think
or-
we should play Malkarok first, see which weapon we get, and then we decide what we want to slam.
There's the
Wow,
5
okay.
attack one. A Gladiator's
Oh,
Longbow.
Nice.
So yeah, that's perfect. So you can just clear the biggest guy.
All right, so I
'Cause it's
use
free.
my weapon to take out the Blackwing Corruptor.
No damage taken.
Yeah, and you can
Oh,
go ahead
huh.
and slam Acre, slam his slime as well.
The 2/2.
So, oh, what am I slamming?
The slime.
The 2/2, the slime.
Okay.
And then it's 50-50 on the Rag, and if he can't deal with any of this, he's pretty dead.
Yeah, like his only out at this point is Deathwing.
Alright, so Rag went face again. He's like just trying to end the game for us. No Deathwing. Here we go. Even then, yeah. Alright, Alex versus champion with a dragon, which happens to be Chromagus. Okay. Well,
Long time since I haven't seen Chromagus.
he's going face, and he did not count that he's dead. Because he's at 10 and we have 11. And we drew Rag.
Okay.
Just kill him.
We threw Gromosh. I'm going to throw Gromosh out there just because we can.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to...
So everyone,
Dilly-dally.
we had 11 showing. He's at 10. He didn't trade into the Malkorok, so he killed himself. If he traded, he had a chance maybe of pulling something like a Deathwing, but he didn't.
All right.
I don't
do we
know,
wanna go
Cydonia.
for-
Do you want to do one more, or you? Is this good enough?
We've capitalized on your time pretty well this evening,
Yeah.
so...
We don't want to
Yeah, if you
abuse
want to
it.
do one more, we can do one more.
Okay.
Okay.
Up to you guys, sure. I don't mind.
All right. Well, then this will be... We don't usually get 4 in a night, so our listeners are going to love this because we have this awesome guest coach, and...
You're a great sport for doing this. I know we've taken quite a bit of time, but I think a lot of people enjoy just playing the game, talking about the game, just doing stuff related to it. It's always a fun activity. So let's see. Let's make it a win streak.
Nope.
How about that?
Yeah. That'd be nice. I ever get connected to an opponent.
You're going robot again. Is your internet just goofing off?
Dude, I'm not even going to... there's no telling.
Mm.
Is the game starting? Because maybe like the server is updated today, so they're not as stable as.
There we go. No, we're good.
Okay,
Oh,
alright.
priest again. No, God. No.
Alrighty.
Why?
So yeah, I guess it's probably gonna be a really greedy priest like we faced like with all of iron stuff. So we're gonna have to play aggressively, just toss everything.
Alright, so do we keep... I drew Draconid Crusher, Ravaging Ghoul, and the Blackwing Corruptor.
I think you throw
don't
everything
want-
away. Yeah.
Throw it a whole handle. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You want Alex, you want Fiery Vorax, you want...
Well, the Ravaging Ghoul was just determined to hang out. We did get a Blood of Vicar and a Draconid Crusher. And I drew Azure Drake, and that's all I can do.
Alright, turn 1 for a friend of priest. Northshire Cleric again. That's just
Goodness gracious.
funny. Alright.
Okay. Well, I drew the Twilight Guardian. I'm not going to Blood of Ichor, the cleric, so just armor up and pass.
Yep.
What is this class? What is it? Priest? What? Who plays this?
Welcome to my world.
Coin
And again,
Bran again. It's the second time. Oh man. And then run 2 for face for a point. Sir Fenley Murgleton.
do we drop Sir Finley?
I don't see why we would drop Finley.
Okay.
It's probably better to play the goal because it can contest his board.
All right.
Like he will probably like hail and draw a card, but then we can kill something, which is pretty good.
Shadow War Pain, but he can't draw cards, so I guess it's not too bad. Alright, so he's healing Bran. He draws a card. And he decides to go to the dome. Face. Okay.
Okay, I draw Frothing Berserker.
This is pretty interesting because we can play Twilight Guardian and get rid of the cleric, or we can play Berserker, get rid of Bran, and trade into Bran. So it depends what we feel is more threatening, and one of those plays, like developing Berserker, can be pretty good because he's gonna have to deal with it for sure, or he's gonna lose.
Okay.
And I like
Well-
getting rid of Bran because maybe it's Ketun again, and he can like do a double disciple or things like that. So I would just get rid of Bran as soon as possible. So like
All right, so
Frothing,
play the
Yeah.
Frothing, Ichor, Blood of
Mhm.
Ichor into Brawn, and then I'm running the Ravaging Ghoul to finish off Brawn.
Yep.
And pumped up our Frothing Berserker to a nice 5/4, and that's my turn.
Yeah, like this is going a lot better than the other time against
Yes.
Priest. Like we're actually doing something proactive. The other game we were like defending the whole game, and he had better late game. At least this game, we have the board, so he's gonna need answers constantly if he
All
wants
right.
to keep.
So he had the answer to the frothing with Shadow or Death, and then he traded into the Ghoul. He left us with the 2/2.
Yeah, so here you can Drake or you can Twilight Guardian and Finley. I like Drake because it can't really die to Shadow Word Pain or anything. So
Excavated
So I play the
Evil
Twilight
or any of that
Drake.
crap. hmm
And I draw a
That's-
Blackwing Corruptor.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
So I attack with my Ichor, and real quick rundown. I got the Blackwing, Ravaging Ghoul, Sir Finley, Twilight Guardian, and a Draconid Crusher in my hand.
I want to point out on the play on turn 3, I was kind of with Dan on the Finley play. I think that's a mistake that I have been making a little bit because I'm like, well, if I play the Ghoul, I give him a card and this and that, but sometimes it's just better to contest the board than to do something too passive. So just wanted to throw that out there while he played the Alkanai circle combo and cleared the
like
board.
here, like of course Ghoul looks very good, but if you Ghoul and Finley, you're gonna have a 3/3 and a 1/3 afterwards. And if you Corruptor and Finley, our board is just gonna be better. So it depends if we want to deal with it more efficiently or if we want a better board. In this case, I think we want the better board. Yeah.
Okay, so Blackwing Corruptor, finish off.
Yeah.
We also,
you should Finley first in these circumstances, but it's not gonna change anything this turn because there's nothing we could possibly get that would change our play. Well, maybe if I don't think so. If we get Warlock Hero Power, that's gonna be the best one, of course.
All right, so take the Warlock Hero Power.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like Warlock is insane in every deck, and especially against Priest.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be putting any pressure, so that might win us the game right there.
Alright, so he plays a Kern. And the other thing, I think Corruptor is better because we just saw Shadow Word Death. And then also, if he has it and wastes it on that, then it clears our path for the bigger stuff. So, anyway, that's...
I drew a Kor'kron Elite. We got 7 mana. So...
Yeah, we just want to use our mana efficiently.
We play Malkorok?
Yeah, I would play Malkorok just to... Because we could play like a Twilight Guardian, but it's not gonna be as efficient, and we don't need to be drawing one right now.
Doomhammer. No, okay.
No. King's Defender.
King's Defender. Not bad.
Yeah, we can go face and make him deal with our stuff and trade.
So
like, the weapon face is kind of questionable. Of course, it plays around Arison, which Priest usually plays, so it can be fine to do it.
Yeah.
Did you mean not to attack with the weapon?
I'm not sure if it's better to attack with the weapon, because we don't really know what's in his deck, so it's harder to make... Well, since we draw War Axe, of course, attacking with the weapon turned out great, so we can just keep curving out, play like both 4 drops, go face with everything again. Yeah.
Give us a quick rundown, Fred, on what our opponent did.
Yeah, so he entombed Malkorok, and then he traded Cairn into our Corruptor. He got the Bane. Finley's still out there, and our 3/1 defender is there, and we drew a Fiery Wax.
Okay, so let me see. So
yeah, just play both 4 drops because it contest is like the 3/6 will stop is 4/5, and then we want to go face with the weapon because we have another one we're gonna play, and he's getting low on the health as well. We can start like threatening lethal as soon as next turn.
Yep.
All right. So that's what I did.
Turned out that attacking with the weapon last turn it was good since we drew War Axe.
A Jewel Scarab comes down. Wow, I haven't seen that in a while. Okay. And a Tankmaster Overspark converts his Bane into a squirrel. Before attacking, he's emoting that was a mistake.
That was a mistake, yeah.
Yep. I drew a Slam. Do I play the Draconid Crusher?
Well, how much do we have here?
You
4,
can,
7, 10, 11.
if you draw like a charge minion, you
Yeah.
can just win. You can
Okay, so
try
slam.
that if you feel like it.
You could
Or,
tap or
well, I
slam.
would go with the hero power actually. Or yeah, you can slam is 3/3 and then you can go. Yeah,
Okay.
like probably most lines win this game. So
Yeah. There's not much wrong we can do here now, Dan.
All right. I drew another Draconid Crusher. Do I hero power?
Could we draw anything? Alex Stress's champion?
yeah, Alex Champion is lethal here. You can draw.
No. Drew Frothing Berserker.
Okay.
So play Fiery War Axe.
Yeah, you can wear axe, go face with everything, and play a goal.
To clear.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure.
Play the Ghoul.
Yeah, sure.
We were
Like
two
the only
off.
thing I can see that would do anything on his part is Excavated Evil, but that doesn't clear the whole board. Like you need Excavated Evil, Shadow Word Pain, and heal himself to survive.
Alright, so he Darkshire Alchemist, restoring 5 to himself. Then Museum Curator. I would have done that first, because you could get like Chilmo or something big. But he's dead, because he got a Thalmus.
Right.
Win streak! We did it!
Yay. Back up to 16. So, all right.
Well, good.
Good night.
I'd
Wow,
say
so-
so.
We
Even
ended
uh,
up winning some games.
even
We got a little
even
string going there. Very good.
with a couple of rough draws, but excellent. Thank you. I feel much better about things now. Winning a couple of games there.
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the deck. I think it's pretty fun to play. so-
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna have to play this some more because I just
Mhm.
have a thing for Deathwing. So, yeah, this one's. I'm definitely going to be playing this one some more over the week. It's going to make it into the rotation, that's for sure.
Fine. We
Excellent.
should be able to climb quite a bit with it because it's really strong right now. So.
Yep.
All right.
Well,
Well-
I'm gonna start kind of closing down the audio portion here. So,
Alrighty.
we want to thank our guests again, Cydonia. Really appreciate your time with us tonight. It's a lot of fun seeing how you kind of navigate this deck a little bit, probably differently than I would. So probably better. So that's good. I picked up
Yeah.
a thing or two that I forget sometimes. So that's excellent.
Yeah. We've learned stuff, and I know all our listeners have learned some stuff too. So,
Yep.
mission accomplished.
Yep. And then for us, you can find us on HearthCoach.net is the website. HearthCoachPodcast@gmail.com is our email. We are at HearthCoach on Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus, all your social medias. We're on the Google Play stores and on iTunes and on Stitcher, so you can download us there. Patreon.com/HearthCoach. Keep those coming. More announcements coming about the upcoming tournament. And is there anything else for us, Dan?
No, friend, you covered it all very well.
Well-
Nothing.
We like to, at the very end, give the floor or the stage to Cydonia if he wants to do any final shout-outs or where they can follow him and do all that stuff.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot for having me. I hope that people who listen picked up a thing or two. And the other thing I wanted to say is, yeah, you can follow me on Twitter if you want. I'm Cydonia HS. So I just post if I do well with the deck or have anything relevant or interesting to say, I will post it there. And when I start streaming, it's gonna be Cydonia_HS. So you can find me there as well.
Is this on Twitch?
Yeah, that's on Twitch for sure.
Okay. Anything
Excellent.
else? Any final shout-outs? Just
Yeah, not necessarily, but yeah, I wanna just shout out to all my families and friends and everyone I tested with and who supported me. It's been really a fun ride so far, and I intend to keep playing for a little longer for sure until BlizzCon.
Hey,
Oh,
I don't blame you. I would keep playing at a high level too because there is quite a pot of money that you can build on what you already made, there's some serious money at BlizzCon. So we will be watching. We will be, of course, rooting for you, and we wish you best of luck. Can't wait to watch you stream and pick up on more tips. So follow him. Make sure to give him a follow on Twitch and on Twitter to keep up with what he's doing. And again, the spreadsheet with the mulligan, as well as some of those guides, will be posted with the show, so you can get those. I think that's it, Dan.
That is it. Thanks again, Cydonia, for doing this. Thanks again, everybody, for downloading and listening to this. And so until next time, good luck getting to Legend, everyone.
Good luck, everybody. Alright, so what I just did is just stop the recording, but we're still streaming.
Still live. Cool.
One thing, I didn't mention it on the show, and if you need to go, just let us know and we'll just stop. But sometimes
I want to go like pretty soon because I've got a few things to do.
Sure.
I'm working tomorrow, but yeah, I can stay.
No worries.
No problem. One last thing is the name. So when I saw the name Cydonia, the first thing I thought about was that song from Muse, The Knights of Cydonia. So I pulled it up and I watched the video on YouTube. I'm like, that's weird. And then I did some more research, and it's like a region in Mars. Is that what it's about, or is it something else?
I got it from the song, and I didn't really try to figure out where it was from or anything. I've been using like this name for quite a long time now, but afterwards I made some research. Apparently, it's a region on, like you said, on Mars. That's probably right, and it's also a place in Greece, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Cool.
And I got it from the song. Yeah.
And you, being from Montreal, you speak French, I assume, fluently?
Yeah, my main language is French.
Any other languages? No?
I know a bit of Spanish, and I've studied Latin in school, but it's not. I don't speak Spanish super often.
We should have done it in Spanish for Dan. He'd be completely lost.
That'd have been funny.
I can do that.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, well, I don't see anything on the chat, and I don't want to keep you, so we've already kept you long enough, and we appreciate it. So thanks so much, man. This was a lot of fun, and good luck.
We'll be rooting for you.
Yep.
Oh, well, thank you. Let me know if there's anything.
All right, man.
Oh, yeah. We'll be in touch.
Cool. All right. See you guys.
All right, thanks.
All right.